show is a part of the Quite the Thing Media Podcast Network.
Welcome to a special edition of Shiny Things, Missing Mondays. Today we're going to recap and fill you in on some of the details that have happened since the last episode on Kayleen was aired January 25th. If you haven't already listened to that episode, which is episode 18, I urge you to listen to that episode to catch you up to speed. So let's do a little recap of our last episode about Kayleen.
Okay.
So tell me the circumstances as to her disappearance.
Okay, Kayleen disappeared over a year ago, January 10th, 2020, and approximately 1:30 up in the Pennsylvania area, visiting her mom and watching her younger siblings. On January 9th, she went out with her friends at her friend's house, and my ex, Kayleen's mother, Tiffany, she received a messenger message through Facebook from Kayleen's account saying at 1:36 a.m., January 10th, that she was going to be there the next morning to watch her younger siblings because she was going to be watching them while she was at work. Kayleen, at that time, she met up with her ex-boyfriend, Michael Mano, which is currently incarcerated, which we'll get into that a little bit later. Anyways, she met up with him to get back jewelry that she inherited from my mother that is deceased now, and she went to get the jewelry back off Michael Mano at that time, and unfortunately Kayleen has not been heard from since. Still to this day, she has not been heard from. Her EBT food card has not been used. No social media account. Her phone still, it's deactivated now and everything, but nobody has heard anything from Kayleen, not friends, not anything. And Kayleen's face and voice is out there everywhere. It's national now, throughout America and everything, and still no word of Kayleen, unfortunately, at all.
I know you've been her biggest advocate. I see it all over Facebook. I see it. I hear about it all the time. I know you've done multiple podcasts, and still nothing.
Yes, correct. Actually, I just did another podcast, but 2 weeks ago. Mrs. and I, my wife and I'm retired now. This is actually my full-time job, looking for Kayleen and also helping other families, because I'm a missing persons advocate for other families now also.
Well, that's commendable.
Sorry, go ahead.
I said that's commendable considering what you're going through.
Yes. And, anyways, since the missus and I, neither of us work and everything else, since I'm retired now, we've been going to multiple states now also, getting flyers up, talking to officials, stopping in police stations, giving I have a copy of Kayleen's dental records, because Kayleen's dentist was up here from out of my house. So I also touched base. I actually talked to the detectives not too long ago, but about a few things, and like I told the lead detective on Kayleen's case, I followed also the Allegheny County River, since it was in question if Kayleen is possibly in the river or at the abandoned land. So what I did was all the counties and cities following the Allegheny County River down to the Mississippi River, I have contacted most of the city coroners and the county coroners with Kayleen's dental records in a description. Case there's any type of Jane Does.
No luck, huh?
No, none at all. Recently, also, Haley, my other daughter, and I, and Robin, my wife, we went to the abandoned land that's in question that Kayleen could be. And I was going to multiple areas there. The problem with that is there's 206 acres. Speaking of, I have 4 dogs now. 2 of them are actually trained Kayleen scent.
Okay.
That's another reason why I have some of the dogs. My Harley Quinn and Baby Joker. They're both, Harley's going to be too soon, but Harley, she sleeps most nights wearing Kayleen's shirt. And everything else I've been training them for Kayleen's scent, that I also take them out with me at times.
So have you had any assistance from the authorities with the searching?
I'm going to say yes and no. I personally, they don't go on searches that I go on, but I do know they have done multiple searches. They have also done one of the Allegheny County Mountain and Rescue has done they were doing a practice, but in that practice in everything, they were searching for Kayleen also. During the training practice and everything, I do know that they were searching for Kayleen at that time. Still nothing.
So I know that you can't incriminate yourself, but do you think that they have any persons of interest?
Oh, I'll incriminate. Yeah, they do have, and it is pluralized, and a lot of people question why is it pluralized, and I will touch base with that, but the main person of interest is Michael David Mano from Penn Hills, Pennsylvania. That is Kayleen's ex-boyfriend. He is currently incarcerated on unrelated but related offense. He sent naked pictures to myself, explicit pictures of Kayleen to myself and my minor daughter. So sending them also to my minor daughter, he got minor child offenses again, and the reason why he's still incarcerated because at the time he was out on bail for other unrelated charges, and he was on probation on other charges than that.
So all of this information you can verify. It's in the news and everything.
It's in the news that there is a suspect. Now, the police aren't going to give a name because they haven't charged him with Kayleen, but we all do know as a family, and we don't care our consequences. We are willing, and as you can see with social media, saying it is Michael Mano. The police will not say it because they haven't charged him yet, so they have to protect themselves, where we will say it is Michael Mano. And the reason why there's more than whenever the news says suspects is because Mano did make 2 phone calls through the night of January 10th, 2020. Now that, since it's a ongoing investigation, they are not behind bars yet, I will not give their name, but I do know who they are and who he called. He called somebody roughly around 2:30 a.m. that night, an hour after he met up with Kayleen. And then he called someone else roughly around 4:30 a.m. that night. And all this has been proven through a warrant for his phone records.
So he's your family and yours person of interest. But you're
yes,
not saying it's the police.
And more, but like I said, they're not going to go ahead and say his name yet.
Okay.
And I will say yet because the police are following these other cases very closely, because to me it sounds like they don't want him stepping foot back outside. It seems like if something seems to be going to be going his way, I have a feeling they're going to start bringing up charges on their people of interest.
Well, your person of interest is in jail. So then
Correct.
he can't, there's going to be no place for him to hide.
Correct.
But if he has nothing, if he did nothing wrong, he has nothing to hide. In the past, do you remember I told you I was going to reach out to him, which I did, and I didn't know if he had Facebook or not, but I sent him a PM, and he never responded to me.
Multiple other news personnel also reached out to him. He's not willing to talk to anybody. Now, and here's another thing that people always ask me. Has he taken a lie detector polygraph? He refuses. Now, I took one, not because I'm a suspect, because I even have a recording from actually the sergeant. I requested one. Mm-hmm. And the reason why is because there are some groups out there on social media that was saying, take a look at father or mother. So I wanted everyone to see to roll me out. Like I said, I requested a polygraph February 23rd and 2021, and there was 6 different questions. One of the questions was not do I know where Kayleen is, but do I know where Kayleen's body is? And of course I said no, and a lot of people, they're like, well, you can say this and say that and everything else, show proof. Well, Allegheny didn't give me that proof, but I can say I live an hour and a half away from Allegheny. At the time, I wasn't driving. They came to pick me up and they dropped me off.
Okay. Well, I never thought that you were a suspect anyway. I know you were doing that.
Not a lot of people do, but there are 2 groups out there. I'm not going to say it on yours because I don't want you getting hammered by these people like I have in others. But there were 2 different groups that I publicly said who they were, and I even sent a snapshot publicly on what unfortunately, it's a missing persons advocate group, and the reason why I also say unfortunately, because I've talked to the police about this, and like they said, people that are missing persons advocates, they have no right basically pointing fingers and everything else and trying to play detective.
So they're supposed to be helping, because you know what, I just recently started working with